Hi, my name's Jeff. I work for the City of Kelowna Parks Department in the greenhouse. Today I'm going to show you guys how to build a moss hanging basket. We're going to need a wire cage, a reservoir, some soil, plants, and moss. So we use a 16-inch diameter wire cage. It's really important to put a reservoir. We attach it to the bottom of the basket. This is going to help you in the extreme heat of our summer to hold water into the basket. So I've already attached my reservoir to the basket. I just attached it with wire here. So the first step to build the basket is to add some moss. So we're going to put a pretty good handful of moss into the basket. This is going to retain some of the moisture and keep the soil away from the reservoir so it doesn't plug up and allows the water to wick up. So once I have my moss, I'm going to add soil. It's really important when you add your moss to cover the wire. I'll show you that later why, but just make sure when you put the moss down, it covers the wire of the basket. So I'm going to add my soil to the moss. I'm going to add probably 3 or 4 good handfuls. Put it right to the outside of the basket to allow the roots to fill the entire basket up. So I have my moss, I have my soil. So here's some options for a mixed hanging basket. That's what most people are interested in, is our mixed baskets. This is Verbena. This is a great drought tolerant plant. It will handle some drought. It will bloom all season. It comes in many colors, different variations. There's reds, there's whites, there's variegated. A great plant, and we use it in all our mixed baskets. Another plant we use is called Sutura or Bacopa. The only thing with this you have to be careful of, you cannot let it dry out. If you do let the plant dry out, it's not going to flower for about 3 weeks. But it does a great job for us. It'll trail to about 2.5 to 3 feet. It will stall when it's extremely hot, but it will come back later in the fall. We do put some greeneries in. This doesn't really bloom, it's just more for foliage, a little bit of color. This is called Helichrysum. It's very hardy, very tough plant, and it will come back the next year. So you could dig it out of your basket and use it again. We do put petunias in our mixed basket. They're a great plant, they're a great filler, and they've lots of different colors you can choose from. The next one we would use in our mixed basket would be Calibrachoa, or Cali, or Superbell. They're also called like a mini petunia. They're a great plant for us. Again, many different colors, and they fill a really nice space in the basket. Very popular plant. And there's another example of some different colors, but they come in reds and purples and you name it. We do fertilize our baskets once a week, and we put them up around June, and we'll take them down around Thanksgiving. We do a mixed basket as well. We do about 400 baskets for the City of Kelowna. So I'm going to put my petunias around the basket, evenly spaced, so you get full coverage. It's really important, again, I showed you earlier, to cover that wire. The reason is the plants over time when they're growing are going to be in the wind, and if you do not cover the wire, it's going to actually cause disease and it could just kill the plant off. So we always cover the wire up so the plants are protected by the moss. So there we have it so far. There's my plants, my soil. I'm going to add more soil. Another 3 or 4 good handfuls. It's a pretty messy job, but it's a lot of fun to do. So I have my soil. The next step is to put another layer of moss around. And it's the same thing. I work my moss to the outside of the basket, making a donut from the top all the way to the bottom. So the middle is full of soil. And that allows, when you water, for the water to go all the way to the bottom into the reservoir where it can be wicked up later when the plants need it. So I'm just going to add a little more moss. And you just work it around. And again, you want to cover that wire up so you don't damage your plants. So as I was talking about earlier, I've got my moss on the outside of the basket and the inside is full of soil. I'm going to add another 2 or 3 handfuls of soil. I'm going to press it in pretty tight so the plants below don't spit out. And now I'm going to do another layer. So again, I'm using petunias. I'm going to use 3. And I'm just going to do the opposite. So when these ones grow, it's going to fill this empty spot. These ones are going to cascade further down. So again, right to the outside. If you plant them too far in like this, over time, they're going to rot out on you and you're going to lose that plant. So make sure they're onto the outside of the basket. So I have my plants. I'm going to add some more soil. Press it down quite firmly. And then for the final step, I'm going to use moss again. And what I'm going to create is a collar. And this collar is going to keep pretty much the basket all together. And it's going to help act as a reservoir again because we have a concave shape in the basket at the top, and it's going to hold water and not allow it to spill over when we water it. So I'm just going to work this around. Just got to make sure it's good and tight around the wire cage. So again, I've got my moss on the outside, soil's in the middle, and that worked all the way down the basket. So again, when I water, that water is going to go down the middle of the basket, into the bottom, into the reservoir. So for my final step, I'm just going to put 3 more plants. Plant them in the top. And that's it. Those are all going to cascade. In about 3 weeks, this will all be fill. You won't even see the moss. It'll look really nice. At the very end, we put a hanger on top. And that will allow you to hang it wherever you want, around your house or under the deck or wherever you're putting it. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Hopefully you do a really good job with your baskets.